Good morning and welcome to Friday. It's Friday, March 1st. Can you believe that? 2 months gone. Hey, this is Wayne Bilal with another smart profit maximizing moment. And today we're going to be talking about reducing your labor costs to the lowest amount possible without reducing customer satisfaction. Again, my name is Wayne Bilal. I'm the founder of a local CPA firm. We concentrate on three things. We do tax returns, we do tax planning to make sure our business clients are paying the lowest amount possible, and and we do smart profit maximizing. So I'm the creator of the smart profit maximizing system. One of the main things is, yes, increasing sales. That's part of the formula, but the main job is to get to the bottom line to increase. All right, first of all, labor is one of our biggest items. In most businesses, in a service industry, it's easily number one. If it's not number one, it's because you sell a product or you manufacture something or you're in construction, in which case, product cost is going to be number one. Labor is going to be number two. All right. One of the key points to remember, before we even get there, the biggest problem I see is that people, managers and owners of businesses just go, well, labor is one of those things you need to have. I need it. I can't do it all myself. Besides, the books tell me it's smart to hire and become a manager. All right, things like that. There's three reasons to have an employee. That's it. Think about these and write them down if you have to. One, the job for that employee is required to sell and deliver the product to the customer. All right. Examples are the sales staff, production, delivery, etc. Excuse me. I'm gonna have some of my coffee from my Red Sox cup. Yay! It's all spring training, thank God. My voice is a little iffy. Second reason, there we go, sound a little better there. Second reason is the job that you hire them for results in decreased cost, putting to the bottom line. All right, thereby increasing the bottom line, like I said. Examples are safety officers, keeping people on the job, less accidents, reducing insurance claims, internal auditors, things like that. All right, so that's the second reason. And finally, one of the more important ones for business owners is the job allows the business owner and key employees, frees up some of their time in order for them to go do the more important work of getting highly profitable customers. Remember the 80-20 rule. Owners should be going for the 20%. The first step for every business owner first is to calculate their salary cap. This calculation quickly shows you whether your business needs to be, whether you have too much labor or too little sometimes. Okay, very rarely. I've done tons of these, and I think I've seen a handful of the ones that had little labor, and truthfully, that was fantastic. All right. Now, I'm not gonna, just don't have time for this right now. Keep your eyes open. We're going to do a pop-up challenge that we're going to show you how to calculate your salary cap, among other things. So the first step is to figure out why you're overstaffed. Okay. And there's a number of reasons that I've seen for salary creep or being over salary budget. Right, to give you what a salary budget is, you basically take your sales minus your cost of goods sold minus your profits. If you're saying you're in business to make a profit. So let's say I do $4 million. I have $2 million in cost of goods sold. I have $2 million in gross profit. I need to make a 10% profit on my gross profit. So that's $200,000. So I subtract that from that. Subtract all my non-payroll costs from that number, and what's left is the most I can spend on payroll if I want to make a $200,000 profit. All right. And if you're not in business to make a profit, go get a job. It's a whole lot easier. All right. So let me get back to what causes creep. And I'll be honest with you, I've had situations where I've seen every single one of these. This isn't one of those like gross profit when I'm doing my coaching checklist and I got 52 items, and if I find 2, 3, 4 items, it's a home run. All right. This is one where I've literally seen all these mistakes in one company more than once. All right. Biggest one I see sometimes is the business owner is bought into the idea that they should be managing and not working. All right. This happens a lot when the business is starting to grow, but isn't really at they're not at 50, 100 employees. So, give you an example. I had a client recently in a retail business, was struggling with this. We did the salary cap, saw they were way over, like $250,000, $300,000 over. The retail manager quit. He jumped in there. All right. First of all, saved $50,000 plus 10% benefits, saved about $60,000 on that one move. Secondly, though, he got into the down right there on the floor, talking to the customers and basically seeing what they wanted and adjusting what he was selling and how he was selling and training his other salespeople. And you could almost like that see where their sales versus last year in the retail department were lower. Almost the month he took over, they were higher, and they've been increasing ever since, and profits have been raising. A second thing that we see is employees are hired too quickly, and they're fired too slowly. All right? I've been guilty of that. Hey, I need somebody. Tax season's coming. Somebody quit. I need to get somebody in here. All right? Especially if we haven't figured out what we want them for. We don't even have detailed job list. We don't even know what it is we really want them to do. We just need a body, man. Things are going. Throw them in there. I worked with one business owner in particular, I remember this, who sat down and documented took about 6 months to a year, documented all the main systems with the idea of looking at what the employee should be working on and where he needed to hire and what the skills were, saved him over $500,000 on the bottom line. Now think about that. That's equal to $1 million in sales in his industry. He was on a 50% gross profit margin. So it's like he added $1 million in sales. So he's making $500,000 more without adding another customer. I'll take that. Okay. The owner is not reviewing the roles and actual work and the actual work being performed. Once you design the system, you have to compare it to what's actually being done. All right. If you don't actually set the expectations as to what work needs to be done and what time frame it needs to be done in, you're going to get it. Look, I tell owners all the time, you have systems. Question is, did you create them or did your employees create them? And there are certain rules that I tell them. I mean, the work expands to fill the time. You know, there's a lot of rules that go into this. I could spend a lot more time on this than I'm going to. All right. We're all kind of guilty of this one, but this is key. All right. Another area, and this is one that I've made the mistake of, and I'd argue almost every CPA firm in the country makes this mistake, is selling items with low profit margins. All right. When I stopped offering the bookkeeping services, it dropped $40,000 off my top line, but I was able to concentrate on the 20% of my customers that brought in 80% of the profits. That allowed me to increase my bottom line by 90%. I wish, by $90,000, aiming for 90% this year. That sounds like a great goal. The business operations are running efficiently. All right. This usually happens. I saw it at Coca-Cola when I was there. We got 6,000 customers. No, we had more than that, but you know, we do a banker box of invoices. This was back before everything was computerized per day, and I think they did have close to 20 some odd thousand customers. They had one, and I'd go looking at the procedures and see why they're doing things, because I got into the dirty details of, all right, how does this happen? How does a sale start? How does it get delivered? How does it get recorded? How does it get collected? Every step of the process, and streamlined it. What I found time after time after time, when I asked, why are we doing this? I'd have to ask like 4 or 5 times. Well, that's the way we always do it. Why are we, but why? You know, because, we have to do it because of this. And then I'd find some lady who'd been there for 30 years who told me, there was this one customer that demanded we do it this way, and it was easier to do it for everybody than just for them. They were a large customer back then. Problem? That customer had gone bankrupt 10 years earlier, and we're still doing it on $300 million in sales. Now, that's a little bit larger scale than what you guys are talking about, but I'm sure you're doing the same thing. Look at all your procedures and make sure you're not adding work. Only do the stuff that run efficiently. The more efficiently you are, the better. Now, the next thing is untrained or unqualified staff messing things up so that things need to be redone. Most, like I said, we're quick to hire, slow to fire. I've been guilty of that. I had somebody here that should have fired a year ago. It's taken me almost a year to fix their mess. I had suspicions. I didn't get in when I needed to. Got kind of overwhelmed. We all have those excuses. Should have been done. All right. What it really came down to, don't hire until it's absolutely necessary. Hire superstars. Be careful getting people's others trash. I mean, unless you can tell they're really, really good, sometimes you're better off growing your own. Get somebody in there, start them from the beginning, and train them. All right. Hourly wage creep. This, every year I'm going to give them a 3% raise, 3% raise, 3% raise. Again, when I was at Coca-Cola, I had an accounts payable clerk. In the El Paso area at that time, I could hire accounts payable clerks for around $8 to $12 an hour. She was making $28 an hour, 27, 28, whatever. Why? Because she was there 30 years. Kept getting her 3% raise. Look, a job is only worth what a job is worth. You're not doing them any favor either. I didn't fire her, we weren't that cold-hearted. But the truth of the matter is, when things have to be cut, we look at the employee who's been there a long time, who's doing a $10 an hour job that's getting paid too much. So train them. If they came to me, I had salary range. This job is worth from here to there. That's it. This is entry level. This is the most you're ever going to make if you're here. And we're not going to raise it. If you want to get a raise, you have to become more valuable to the company. Remember the reasons we hire. You have to drive dollars to the bottom line. If you're not, tell me why I should pay you more. I know that's a hard discussion for us, but you have to be kind of brutal about that and be frank about it. I didn't have people quit me, all right? Because I helped them become more valuable. Like, okay, you want to do that? Why don't you get into this area here? Let's learn a little bit more. Push them beyond their comfort zone. Employee, 30 years, been there doing the same job, was totally comfortable, could do it in her sleep. Wasn't bringing any more value to it. Doing work that should be outsourced, all right? I've done that. I mean, I was head marketing in-house, and I'm like, I was paying $3,000 a month for that. I've outsourced it in less than $1,000 a month. Sometimes, I'm going to bring it back up, so it's probably going to be about $1,500 a month. Still cheaper. And the work's getting done better because I'm giving it to people. That's their job. That's all they do. All right? Outsource. Another area that should be outsourced is bookkeeping. You're not a bookkeeper. Heck, I'm not a bookkeeper. I just told you we got rid of it. All right? But I got some good people that good companies that do bookkeeping, and that's all they do, and they do it well. And I refer my clients to them, and I work closely with them. Computer work. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I wasted a ton of time trying to be my own computer IT person. Gave up after a day and a half, called somebody who knew what they were doing. They solved it in a half hour. They told me they could have solved it in 15 minutes, but they had to fix the mess I made trying to fix it in the day and a half I was playing with it. Like I said, marketing, you can outsource a lot of that, but don't outsource the creativity. Don't outsource the sales strategy and the marketing strategy. That has to be you. You know your market better than anybody you're going to get it out. Drop shipping instead of delivering the product yourself. I had one client do that, saved about $250,000. All right. Anything else that doesn't directly improve the bottom line, you should look at whether you can eliminate and outsource it. All right. So how do I fix and lower labor costs? Look, I'm going to take a time out here a minute. Been talking fast because there's a lot of subject here, but you really want to go back and reread this one. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to put this out as a blog article in written format. I'll write it out. I'll just watch this myself and write it out. I got highlights here, so it won't take me that long. Download it. Seriously, labor costs can be controlled, but I'd say less than 1%. Out of 1,000 companies, I might see 5 that are actually managing their labor. All right, you need to take this seriously. How do I get around doing it? I've spent a lot of time with companies working on it. Here's the things I usually go after. Get the owner back into the operations in the area that will have the quickest and largest increase in profits. Second, evaluate every employee and determine if the work they do is vital to the company's profits. Eliminate any employees that don't lead directly to profits. Well, eliminate is probably a bad word. You might do a hiring freeze, but sometimes they're just not there. Now, I had people, there's a humane way to fire. We're not going to talk about that in this one. But I had 2 people I fired at Coca-Cola that became clients of mine when I opened it up because I helped them get into another job because we just weren't a good fit. Doesn't mean they're bad. We just weren't the right fit for them. 3, determine if there are any jobs that should be outsourced at a lower cost than what the employee costs without affecting the customer experience. We already talked about that. 4th, eliminate or at least reduce the emphasis on the 80% of products and the 80% of customers that only produce 20% of the profit. Concentrate. We do personal tax returns. That's not really what we do unless it's the business owner. But if somebody comes in off the street and wants to get a tax return done, we'll do it. We don't spend a lot of time putting procedures together for it because everybody here knows how to do them, and we work like heck to get them the heck out of the way so we can concentrate on what we need to do, all right? And we don't market them at all. I told you the 3 things we say we do. For business owners, we do their tax returns, we do their tax planning, and we help them make more money. That's what we do. That's what we market. That's what we advertise. That's what these videos are about. That's what the blog's about. If somebody comes in off the street, it's going to hand us money. We're not going to turn it away. But it's not our focus. All right. I'm not going to hire an extra person just for that. We'll just say we're full. 5, sorry, I forgot where I was. Improve efficiencies by easily creating and documenting your systems. That's important. really work on efficiency. Get into the main thing that leads to your profits and make sure you got all the steps as efficiently as possible and get employee buy-in. 6, create a pay scale for each job and don't make an exception for anybody. All right. If an employee hits the cap, the only way for them to get a raise is to add a job duty that directly leads to increasing bottom line. 7th, make sure you have competent, well-trained employees. All right. I think I forgot to mention that up there. Forgetting to train employees is one of the major, I may have touched it, but that's one of the major problems I see, failure to train. Okay. Make sure you hire as best as possible superstars. The worst employee you have is the mediocre employee. They do enough not to get fired. Your bad employees, you get rid of them. You can tell right away, man, that girl's got to go. You know, the superstars are great. You recognize them. It's the one in the middle that do just enough not to get fired, but not enough to really do a whole lot. They're your worst ones. You need to challenge them, and you need to get them to move up or move out. It's that simple. All right. Look, covered a lot. Yeah, I swear to God, it was 16, 17 minutes I went here. And I went hard. There was a lot of good information in here. Fixing employee costs is a lot of work, all right? But that's why I work on employee costs, cutting overhead costs, working on cutting material costs, increasing gross profits. Then we go out and make a sale. If I can increase your bottom line from each sale from 5% to 10%, now it makes sense to go out and get sales. All right, if I can take it from 5% to 20%, I got one guy who's taking it from about 20% to 60%. Holy, every time he gets a job, it's 60% of it's going in his pocket because he did the work. All right. Until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.